been compromising so much of ourselves as a collective human species for too long. And I am, for one, am so glad that the Matrix is doing this thing where it's just like collapsing. It's like blasting apart, you know? We can do anything, and we should really be focused on what brings us the most vitality, joy, and just peace. Wow. You coming, Minnie? I made a video a long time ago called How to Exit the Matrix. And I've been dealing with this subject for so long. You know, it's been like this just constant struggle for freedom. It seems like we're always just put in these boxes. So my YouTube channel actually started out as a channel for me to just show my progress going off grid. I had been living in a trailer. Granted, it was in beautiful Sedona, but I had been living in a trailer for like 6 years that had black mold in it. I was done trying to put myself in those boxes, and literally it was making me sick. So after that, I decided to save up my money, and I was able to purchase a truck. And then after that, it was like freedom was a lot more attainable. Oh, it's pretty windy. But anyway, as I was saying, I got to the point where I was literally sick of trying to fit myself into society. And so I got really into just like nomading and overlanding and just going on amazing adventures and just being aligned with the land and living close to it. But then something happened. Basically, I felt called to come back into, you know, living on the grid. I wanted to get to know people. I wanted to connect with clients, and, you know, I needed to sustain myself. And so I went that route, and it was like the hardest thing I've ever done was to just really like discipline myself. And I ended up like working 2 years at a shop where I was able to, you know, build a clientele, and I was doing readings and doing healings, energetic clearings, you know, chakra work, Reiki work. A lot of this stuff just comes naturally, and I would totally just do it for the rest of my life. So I really just like devoted myself to that work, and I'm glad that I did it. But it took like a really rough ride because there's a lot of poverty in our world, you know, and it comes in different forms, and I've had to really you know, find my value in what I know to be worth it to me. So something I'm getting from my guides is to follow my own sense of worth, you know. And for me, living to pay bills, nope. Not doing it. You know, I'll do it for a certain extent just to get myself to, you know, a place to like take off into more of a relaxed, peaceful place. But the goal is to always be free, you know. So yes, I did go through a phase where I had to like totally, I don't know, almost revert. Just seeing how some of these incredible people are living off the grid, it's like, okay, you know, this just makes sense, and there is no reverting, right? Well, yeah, I kind of had to go back and forth between both worlds, you know, living off grid, coming back, having some sort of like balance. This is just like something that happened to me in my own life. I mean, most people that go off grid are gone, and you'll never see them again because it was working for them. But for me, in my experience, it was like not fully sustainable. It's like I had to create my own business, and it's like I really had to hustle and make things work in the last year, living in this house and just being on the grid. It's been like, yeah, it definitely feels like you're limited, and you're living day to day to make those bills happen. And I just realized, like, wow, it's easy to get lost in this, you know? I like open this gate. Okay. There we are. Close this gate. So yeah, right now living at this house, I really had to buckle down. You know, rent's not easy to make every month. If you have other kinds of bills, if you have student debt, student loans, oh man. So the system is set up totally to keep us stuck, keep us working. But what if we could do something about that? What if we could somehow like take our power back? So what I've been learning is that if I somehow find a way to leverage myself away from the dollar, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, instead of buying food, like planting your own food, finding ways in which the dollar has no value or no power over you, I should say. And that's a really interesting way to look at it, because this is what's happening. Because the old system is done. The new system is going to be just completely more about us getting back to our truest selves, living in honest faith, close to the land. And this is going to be so liberating for, oh my gosh, I'll tell you, like, since this whole thing, I have felt a deep sadness. Don't get me wrong, I went through a major sadness. You guys saw in my last video, my shoulders were completely locked up. Just feeling like the death energy and that remorse and sadness for humanity. Just couldn't do anything about it other than sit there and like freeze up. Whew. But since then, something shifted. Something's freeing up, you know? Like my shoulders are totally fine now. And it's almost like just acknowledging the pain is what we need to do to release it. These are the times that accelerate our awakenings. So it is what it is, and we just have to have faith and remain true in what we know is divine order, you know? But anyway, wow, I'm talking and talking, but all this stuff is really coming up, you know? Hey buddy, what'd you get? Let me see. He always finds the, oh wow, that is an amazing bone. Yes, you like it. Opie loves it out here on this land. But anyway, speaking of, we're gonna be trying to create more flexibility for ourselves. I worked really hard to get to where I'm at. I felt like I focused a lot this year on paying off debts, freeing up myself to have more time, and it's really worked. It's really worked. I feel like a lightness, like a sense of just peace coming over me, just knowing that now, you know, I can set sail with a lot less baggage and just be free. So I wish that for everyone. I know that that's what's happening, and I'm so excited. That's what I was going to say earlier. We have all this opportunity freeing up right now. The matrix is obliterated. Is that how you say that word? Yeah. And since everything is open, wide open for the infinite possibilities, let's just create the most badass lives for ourselves right now. But anyway, I'm sending you guys so much love. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.